Hello everyone, this is White Wolf, and we are going live, and I wanted to talk about what are we looking for. Generally what we're looking for is sometimes right in front of us. So the things that we look for, we may not be aware of them always. They may not always be in front of us. They might not always be screaming at us in the face. But a lot of times what we are looking for is sometimes inside of us, sometimes it's in front of us, sometimes it's around us. And a lot of times our intuition, our psychic intuition, allows everything to be known when it's supposed to be known at that specific time signature, at that specific time stamp. And everything that we're looking for is sometimes inside of us, is around us. That's why we have to pick up on signs, synchronicity, confirmations. And a lot of the times we see that the timelines that we're on are interwoven, interconnected, and that we're reshaping the energy and the perspective and how we're going about the energetic configuration, and seeing that what we are looking for is that sense of perfection, is that sense of fulfillment, is that sense of happiness and awareness. Perfection is that sense of fulfillment, is that sense of happiness and awareness, and true bliss beyond our own personal bias. And understanding what we are looking for is already inside of us, because we are energy. We are energy, we are codes, we are galactic unities, we are the reshaping of reality itself, and also the entire world itself. So what we're looking for isn't really the question of what we're looking for. It's what we are looking for, how to adapt to the environment and the changing of energy, and the culmination of how energy is being made, and also how we're able to develop this autonomous intelligence to know that we're channeling from our own source of energy, and seeing that everything as energy, seeing everything as that aspect of energy, seeing everything as the I am presence, and seeing everything as an unfolding of the manifestation of life. So it's not the question, what are we looking for? That's where you start at. But it's really understanding, are you looking within? Sometimes what you're looking for is right in your face. Sometimes what you're looking for has to do with what you're listening to, what you're projecting as, what you're vocalizing, what you are sending out most of the time. So what we're looking for is someone else, is our spiritual origination, is a different way to tap into universal love, but also a different adaptation on how the energy is unfolding to our eyes. So it's not about looking into your eyes, but it's looking at the void, the emptiness, the awareness, the energy that is present, so that we are able to look from a vantage point of, we're not really looking for ourselves. We've already found ourselves. We already know ourselves. We already know and have an idea and the intentions on what we want to bring forth within this reality. So understanding that is that it's not about what you're looking for, because it's always about who you are in the present moment. So you're not looking ahead and you're not looking back. You're looking at the here and the now. So now that we're here and we're in the now and we're in the present, we're able to discern that what we are looking for is not so far past us. It's not far away from us. We have not been passed on. We are not late to the party necessarily, but it's understanding that you are always in the pursuit of the seeking impulse. So it's not about what you are looking for, but it's how you're looking for it, why you are looking for it, what is the aspiration to really delve deep in yourself and be in the search of enlightenment. So that was my opening for this live. I hope you guys are doing well. This is a spirituality channel. And if you guys watch these on YouTube, just know that I'm on TikTok doing these, and I'm talking to people in real time. So also, you guys can book private sessions with me. I do meditations and healings depending on how I feel that day. So I wanted to go live because I haven't gone live in a day or so. And with TikTok, we have to be very consistent on how we do stuff, and just the dedication, just posting the content, just getting it out there so people can really look at that content, but also look in themselves. I never get on a live just to do something for myself. I always do it in the intention that somebody hears that message and they're inspired and they are filled with joy and they're filled with expression so that they are able to really flourish within themselves, but also hear something that is absolute fire, that just fires them up, that gives them excitement, that makes them feel accepted. And I think that's what we're really looking for within the collective, is really acceptance. True acceptance, really looking at other people, not as objects, not as a person, but seeing them as something as beautiful as creation, seeing them as an aura, seeing yourself as the thing that you are aspiring to be. The better version of yourself is ultimately what you're looking for. So we don't focus heavily on what we're looking for, how we're looking for it, how we're seeking about it, how we're questioning, studying, writing down in our journal. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, what you're looking for is right in front of you. And that goes for anybody who wants to listen to this message. It's really everything that you're looking for is the person that's looking through you, through the screen, but also the person that's looking back at you in the mirror. Now think about that. So every time that you're looking at yourself, you're not looking at your eyes or your smile or your teeth or your face, but there is something beyond the mask. There is something beyond what is comprehensible, right? So there is something there that is transcendental, that is pure, that is of the essence of everything that is of light. So beyond this and this and this, there is something called consciousness. And ultimately, we are here in the search, in the seeking impulse, in the drive to really delve deep inside of ourselves, to delve deep inside of our consciousness, to really definitively know who we are in this moment. And it doesn't matter if you know who you are right now, but who are you presently? What are you looking for presently? How are you looking about it? But also, how are you going about it? And really just understanding that if we look through everything, if we look at everything by seeing, actually seeing, by having the truth to see it, but having the truth to live it, and having the vibration to emulate that, but emit that and project that. So projecting it is really understanding that you're giving other people a new perspective, a new prospect, a new example that you're leading by, so that they can look within themselves. Because a lot of people, if you're really serious about it, you won't be afraid to heal. You won't be afraid to let go. You won't be afraid to journal. You won't be afraid to take courageous actions and demonstrate grace within action, because you won't be afraid to do it. And the reason why the fear or the pushback is because sometimes there's people afraid to show that they are awakened. And that is what is a false sense of enlightenment, to be afraid to share your gift. That's the most false sense of enlightenment, is to be afraid to not showcase who you are in every moment, rather it is perfect or not, and leaving it as it is, and knowing that when they're looking at you through the eyes of Source, that they're seeing the communication patterns, that they're seeing everything that you are. And it does not mean that you have to say the most beautiful, translucent thing ever, but it just means that you're true to your alignment. You're true to who you are. You're true to what you are bringing to the table in every aspect of your life, in every stage of your life, phase, peak, valley, doesn't matter. But this means that you are the sense of the drive of the seeking impulse, of looking, of seeking, of studying, on wanting to delve deep into yourself. And it's not about being well trained either. A lot of people have that misconception. But it's really going your own way, knowing that what we're looking for is our own gateway of enlightenment. It's our own reality. It's our own realm. It's our own sense of knowing ourselves. because it's your journey at the end of the day. And I've had to really learn that it's not just what you do, it's what you say, it's how you walk the walk, and it's how you really talk the talk at the end of the day. And sometimes it's not really easy, but it becomes more easy as you progress along. And then you're not afraid of what comes. You're not afraid of what comes next, because you always expect the unexpected, which is not a negative expectation. Because a negative expectation would be, I expect that everybody is perfect around me. Now that's an impossible task, because obviously nobody's perfect, right? See, that's a negative expectation. But if you expect the unexpected and expect the unknown, then that means that you wouldn't have the fear or the lack beliefs or the unworthiness to come up when something unknown happens or something surprises you. I think what we're looking for ultimately is the sense and the element of surprise. I feel like we forget that sometimes within the spiritual awakening. It's very amazing, because the element of surprise should ultimately lead you to wanting to realize that being surprised is allowance. Excitement that comes into the surprise is complete and total allowance of manifestation, of everything, of blessing, of prosperity. And if we don't do that, if we're not allowing, then nothing will come to us, and we'll kind of put a damper on it. And we'll kind of put a lid on it, instead of just opening up the lid and allow everything to pour in. Exclude what needs to be excluded, subtract what needs to be added, and proclaim and declare who you are in this very moment, and know that you are the God that you're looking for. So I thought of this when I was making like a little post here. It was really understanding, what are we looking for? Sometimes it's right here. Sometimes it's looking at us in the face. Sometimes our ego is staring us in the face, kind of getting us to like, hey, get with the program, man. You know, our thoughts reflect something to us, and we have to identify, are they really our thoughts? And then, you know, let's say, like, for example, I've done lives. I've had a beautiful transcendent live. Everyone was in peace with the healing and the meditation. And then guess what? I walk in the door and the dog just throws up on the floor. And then I'm having to deal with that, right? Because I gave this beautiful message. I talked about enlightenment. I talked about peace, love, and forgiveness. And then guess what? And then this surprise comes in. And then ultimately most human beings would say like, oh, wow, that was terrible. Actually, it could have been a blessing. It was funny, another thing with my dog. I was pouring his food on the counter, and I just mopped the floor, and then I got the dog food, and I was trying to pour it in, and I poured it all on the floor where I mopped it. Now, most people would look at that with a negative lens and a negative connotation. So they would sense that and see that and be like, oh my God, they would react and think it was the most negative thing to ever happen to them, but that could be a sense of overflow. A lot of the times, another example was that we got a new washer and dryer, and the washer just flooded in the garage at a house that we lived at, and I had to cut up this old carpet. And at the time, it felt like a very frustrating thing to go through. But at the time, what I was not looking at, that could have meant overflow. That could have meant blessing of the water, of the rain coming from the washer and dryer on the ground, right? So understanding that that was actually a blessing in and of itself, and it was a lesson and a teaching tool. So a lot of the stuff that we go through, and it's like moving. I moved from South Carolina to Tampa, and it was a very stressful move. But it was still teaching me, helping me be humble, helping me be true. You know, so everything that we go through is really ultimately what we're looking for. And even the things that we don't feel like we're attracting to ourselves are the things that we are attracting to ourselves and are giving us the most impactful ways to heal and become and to be true and to be wise and to not look at everything from a negative lens, but looking at it from a much more positive lens. You know, it's like sometimes in life, you might only have certain friends for a certain amount of time, and then once those friends leave, you feel kind of maybe sad, or that you're alone, or that you don't have them, but then you realize that you can't possess anything or anybody. Because things do change and things do run their course, but creation infinitesimally goes on forever. So it's kind of like I had to lose my mom and sister so that they could be my spiritual guides. So I wasn't really looking for that, attracting that to myself, but ultimately that catalyst that was so harsh, you know, losing them both from this earth. But instead now I can see that they have become my guides and that they are assisting me right now, even with this message. And in the vulnerable times, what you feel like that you're looking for, or that you're overlooked, or that you are obsessing and overanalyzing everything to the point where the seeking impulse can become toxic. But if you looked at it from the vantage point that everything that you went through led you to get to where you needed to be at this point in time. So if we look at it from that vantage point and understanding that everything that we go through leads us to really correcting how we've been going about life forever. You know, a lot of, most people awaken at 50. So I was very fortunate to awaken at an earlier age than some people. But it did not mean that I didn't have my challenges. It did not mean that I didn't have a year where it was really rough, you know. I had to really transcend a lot of negative stuff, a lot of darkness. But then transmuting that into light and embracing it so that it can come into balance with one another. It takes really a good year or two to really get to a stage where you are more saturated within your light, within your energy, within your consciousness, to where that there is a maturation of yourself and that there is a purity that is of you, that is very profound and deep and intricate. So ultimately, because I think I'm going to do some healing energy soon, ultimately, what we are looking for is sometimes in front of us. What we are looking for is love, is peace, is dedication, is repetition, consistency, living a life of our dreams, not being forced to do a 9-to-5, not being forced to live by society's rules, not being forced to live by any limitation, by any expectation, and also learning how to have gratitude and appreciation within everything that we're looking for, and garnering and not harboring, but letting go and starting to project and release, and finally having that profound intention that you can be whatever you want to be. You just have to believe in it completely to the point where you know yourself. And I think that's what the ultimate goal is at the end of the day. So anyway, I think we're going to do some healing energy, even though I am sweating profusely. That's why I wear a hat all the time, because I don't want to sweat on my forehead and it get in my eyes and stuff like that, because it is really hot in Tampa, Florida. It has a heat index of 115. Not joking. And I did mow the grass earlier. So also, you guys can book private sessions with me. It's 1 hour for $120 for psychic readings, healings, activations, Akashic records, and stuff like that. And also I do live readings. I'm actually going to go live tonight and do some readings for you guys as well. I usually just do $15 to $20 donations as well. But right now you can receive a free healing, and we're going to do some healing energy to help us understand what we're looking for And I do believe that I'll have assistance from some guides, and also just allowing yourself to know that all healing is self-healing, and that whenever we're sending out that healing, it's actually going to the entire universe. So, we're going to start off with this healing, and I'm going to rub my hands together, and I do a healing modality. It's called Stupa Mudra energy. It's what the Buddhists use. And if you want to learn it, I can just teach you it real quick here. It's just really moving your hands around and rubbing the fingertips, holding your hands like that. It's very simple. So as we are coming into this healing transmission, we're going to allow ourselves to really understand what we're looking for and seeing ourselves as a temple of source energy. If you see yourself as a temple of source energy, you're seeing yourself as something divine. You're seeing yourself as something very significant, something loving, something pure, something of an essence and an emulation and an example that you're setting to the entire universe. And when you're able to do that, you're able to see what we're looking for is inside of us all. Everything that is inside of you is inside of me, and everything that's inside of me is inside of you too. So we can all do this and very much implement it in a way that is very divine, that is very pure, that is very much an emulation of source energy. That was perfect. We had Elvis come in to the healing session. Elvis was very divine. But also we're just going to raise the vibration, and also we're going to do the Kundalini energy. And this is the energy of quick release and then rejuvenation and transmutation very quickly. And allow ourselves to ascend to 10,000 levels. So we have Andromedans coming in very strongly, and one is sending out a beam to all of your guys' third eye and all the way back to the pineal gland. And what this is doing is developing your psychic intuition, and it's also developing the sense of telepathy, and it's developing the sense of cognizance and recognition. So recognizing, being cognizant, being aware and alive and present. So the Andromedans is helping us with that. And then we have the Archangel Raphael healing the throat chakra so that we can change what we're vocalizing, our speech patterns, also maybe the negative things that we say over ourselves, and really helping the throat be cleared so that you're able to speak with authority and have truth over your life. And we're just going to push the energy. We're just going to push the energy away. We're going to push the negative energy away. And also we're going to develop the sense of origination, being an individuated creation, but also connecting to all the frequencies that we need to connect to with the monad, the I am presence, the brothers, sisters, / daughters from different realms and different planes and different universes. So you're going to connect to all the aspects that are becoming enlightened with you. So there's 12 aspects of ourselves that are on the same journey, and we're connecting to them so that every form of enlightenment needs to be in sync and needs to be on time, in the now presence, in the absence of time. So it just feels like a lot of things are opening up. So feel as if so many things are opening up within yourself. And with this recognition, with the ability to just feel into your heart centers and to feel into the sense of like a Milky Way of creation. It's kind of like a spider web, but almost Milky Way-like. And you can allow yourself to use that magic, that star magic, that starburst magic within yourself, to know that we're channeling from our galactic races, our angelic races, and also our monad, the I am present. So what this is happening is that we're tapping into the heart of creation, the heart of the universe in this moment. And we're really just bringing forth this new sound sense of enlightenment. So what we are looking for is ultimately right in front of us. So sometimes we're frustrated because we're looking for this thing, we're trying to force this action, trying to force this transaction with a business or even a relationship. But sometimes it will come to you when it's in the most direct aligned way of receiving that. So don't give up on giving. Just know that you've already received it in another time signature of the different parallel realities. And we have to tap into our spiritual origination of our parallel I am presences and bringing forth the rainbow energy so that it can be a encapsulation of different auras, different frequencies, different cosmic abundances, and different lives, if you will. I'm going to snap 5 times, so don't come out of the state, but I am going to snap quite a bit. Archangels of love and light, who's willing to cleanse us of our auric field, tapping into God's source energy and the great I am, diving deep into Middle Mother Gaia Earth. And just be. Take one last deep breath. And so it is. So I hope you guys really enjoyed the healing energy. I hope you enjoyed the live feed itself. Also, you guys can book private sessions with me. This is White Wolf. I have a Cashapp and PayPal. It's $120 for readings, healings, activations. So also, I'm going to be doing live readings tonight, and I hope you guys are doing well. And also, just know, guys, just be yourselves. Just know what you're looking for is the God aspect that you've already known. And it's just remembering that, and it's accepting that, and it's accepting the growth and the change and the expansion that is always ever present. So thank you guys so much. God bless. Namaste. And this is White Wolf signing off, and so it is.